and make yourself known by chat, or hitting the like button, or the other buttons down there. Once you press a few and check out. Alright, tonight we are going to be touching upon a subject about humor versus, well, technically, rage. There's a lot of people that hate certain things in humor, and we're going to cover the topic of a few things. But mainly in one particular issue. And get over that as we draw some witching. Pages to witching. So, we're going to pull it on up, get started on it. So, the reason I chose this topic, as a helicopter flies by, most likely military. Thank you. Alright, so the reason I chose this topic for this week, it's twofold. One story that we'll get to, but also the hatred going on. Now I guess it's kind of over because the show's done for the season. Has been hooked up. Has been, is, and was always a project I kind of supported. Disney Pop did an amazing job putting together a show that's entertaining, both in music and humor, and certain dark topics, which I'm glad she did, because, you know, we need a little bit more of what Hello Boss, well, I mean, not Hello Boss, Has Been Hotel had to present. And some of those episodes were, you know, floor-dropping amazing. Episode 4 and episode 6, in my opinion, were the best out of the show. Both being angel figured, focused. So, yeah, maybe a little bias, but I mean, it's really good. The last few songs were okay. I was one of the people to buy the music as it came out. So take of it what you want out of that. I am trying to do a chibi version of Ida right here. And her pajamas in this chapter. But yeah, the idea, it's been an issue for a few years since pretty much cancel culture started. A lot of comedians getting canceled or getting attacked for being comedians. Now, I'm not going to include what Louis C.K. did. I think it wasn't as bad as people made it to be, but it wasn't, you know, something disastrous because he asked. We always got told, you know, if you ask and you get permission, you do it. But yeah, it's not something I really would want to see. But then you have situations like Dave Chappelle. Being a trans woman, I'm told I have to hate Dave Chappelle, especially for his comedic jokes and stuff like. I tell you right now, I don't hate Dave Chappelle. I find him funny. In fact, the jokes that were derived at myself, in a sense, or the people I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I am not going to be that thin-skinned to let somebody's joke offend me. And that's seriously what the subject is for tonight. We are living in a society these days where rage wins out over common sense. and humor and just overall things. I mean, you could hate on what Dave Chappelle said, but for me, I enjoy it. I watched all of Dave Chappelle's specials on Netflix. You know, if he was in town, I might go and see him. If I can afford it. No, I need having the eyes. Well, let's do the circles, but let's do I haven't drawn this. And I mean, that's one of the things I have to get on. There has been a large supply of comics, especially comics, both comedians and comic strips I've been seeing that just are not humorous. I know Sunday comics is a rare thing for newspapers these days. Most of those comics you can see online. I literally have been reading through them during times on my computer at work when I'm just bored and it's sitting on top of Edge homepage. I'm like, okay, let me read these. Maybe about 3 will actually make me chuckle. None of them are gonna give me a hard laugh outside of the original Calvin and Hobbes and Farside. Why? Because they were offensive. Who gives a damn? It's when you put too much of your own opinion being requested of a creator that it's a problem. It's a problem. And we saw that with Has Been a Hotel. Combination of, you know, the people are like, oh, it's about hell. No, yeah, it's about reforming people in hell. You know, reform. The thing that the Bible teaches us. As a creator who has reformed her own subject for Demon Blade, yeah, I don't understand people having this raging issue with, you know, comedy being, or stories being told to be, oh, it's Satanistic. I mean, I literally just watched a new video from Aki Dearest, and it was about the cult of church followers that bought into the crap of Pokemon being satanic. Like, no, it's Pokemon. It's just Pokemon. It's cute, fun, entertaining way to have enjoyment. And I would have been like, oh, well, they did this once. No. I remember that group. I grew up in the 90s. Oh, yeah. I remember that group. Pretty much everything was Satanistic to them in the 90s. Like, oh, Tony the Tiger is a talking tiger on top of a Frosted Flakes cereal. It's satanic. No. He's used to promote sugar cereal. Alright. So, yeah. People just went way too far, and still do. We've went from the Catholic, Bible-thumping, you know, everything satanic people to the overly... What the hell happened there? Why did it disconnect? The overly sensitive having issue with a joke. I mean, it really is. That simple. Uh, Great. Alright, I'm gonna have to restart that. I don't know why Animu is having issue. Animu. Animu. No. No. Come on. Load. Load, Animu. I know you're there. No. Did you not open? Oh, no, no, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. No, 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 no. We don't need you two. We need what's below it. Come on. Yes. Open. One of these days. There we go. I just updated you. Is that what we preached? You did an update? You piece of... Oh, no. Okay, restart the device, not the computer. Do not restart the computer. What a piece of crap. Come on. Come on. Come on, iPad. You're on here. You're connected. Alright, let's try disconnecting it. There we go. Alright, it's coming up. But yeah, today's subject, definitely about humor. Oh, great. Now I gotta recap and re-get it. Properties. There we go. Yeah. So, humor and easily offended. We need it to stop. We need it to. Her hair should actually be a little more lively. It wouldn't be tied up in sleep. As a person who's slept both with my hair tied up and my hair not tied up, I definitely can vouch you don't want it tied up. At least my kind of hair, you don't want a hair tie up. But yeah, I mean, people are gonna hate on anything these days. I mean, you could show a picture of a dog and you'll find haters about it. And just be like, it's just a dog. But nah, people are gonna find hate. But I mean, that's the element we're approaching here. Because the reason I wanted to bring this up, also not just Has Been Hotel, but an issue with Saturday Night Live. I grew up in the 90s, 80s, 90s. Saturday Night Live was the show to watch on Saturday night. And you had amazing comedians attacking everybody. I mean, it's very much like South Park has been doing since the 90s as well. No one was off limits at the time. Since then, they definitely aren't as well loved, or as well performed in comedy these days. It's probably a lot of people questioning why they still have the show on the air. It's likely because for NBC, that is still a large viewership for NBC. When you have so much on the internet, so much streaming, you really don't need a comedy variety show that's live on Saturdays. and not even funny. Horrible jokes. And I mean, that's some of the topic we'll cover. Because, I mean, we'll go over the types of comedians over the years, including the most notorious type, which I enjoy, and at the same time, I don't like comedians from at times. And that's insult comics. Because, well, insult comics, hence the name, are out there to insult. Some are good, some are bad. We're going to even rank them based off of the site. It's one of those up or down ranking systems. We'll go over the 30 comedians, the top 30 comedians, and we'll rank them on the stream. I'm even saying that, I'm trying to do comedy in its own theme that we're drawing. So we have this very scene. We have our main character, Ida, sleeping. Dawn has arrived, and her roommate, Abigail, is waking her up by being creepy. And we get a jolted Ida that's in a panic. It's the little jokes that just are a delight to tell. Whether people find it humorous or not, that's up to them. I find it humorous, and that's why I put it in the comic and am drawing it in the comic. But there are a couple other one comic, I will not name them directly, but it was a comic when I started coming out, was out there, and I enjoyed it for the topic of being trans. The problem has been, it's been 12, 13 years, and they're still doing the exact same arguments that they make. And it's not funny. It's not funny. It's, in fact, disturbingly preachy. And yet they're like, oh, Christians are so preachy about anti-trans. It's like, not necessarily. You aren't going out there and trying to involve yourself to confront those problems. You're just going by what others tell you and be like, such a generalization. If you're not facing people that hate you, you're not growing, in my opinion. Because a way to grow is to find maybe what you're weak to, or find those that hate you, and learn from them. Just learn why they hate you. And it's not a generalized tone, really. It's usually a based subject. Now, there are people that will be general in their hate, and be like, oh, I hate you because this reason. Like, okay. That's why we have racism, sexism. But I think over the past 10 years, we've gotten so loose with the term that we overuse them. And because of that, we jump to the gun that anything that we disagree with is obviously racist, sexist, Nazism, when it's not. It's you having your opinion that disagrees with this person's opinion. And that's why we need more comedy. And unfortunately, cancel culture really tried to destroy comedy. I don't know why. But I mean, it's pretty much, if you made a joke, it didn't matter if you were, black and making a joke about fellow black people and how they acted, a la Chris Rock, then it was offensive, and you should be canceled for it. And yeah, some people might be like, oh, well, that's subject we kind of touched upon over the years. It's like, yeah. But we're finally getting to the point where we're fighting back against that crap. I mean, we've let this go. It's been like, whatever. You cancel me. Oh, well. I guess I'm canceled. And move on. It's only now that we're seeing elements of that changing. And they're really limited to seeing that. But I mean, it's finding humor. And another good one for me. I'm from the South. Good old American South. The butt of so many jokes. And yeah, I find them funny. Because that's how people in the South do act. I mean, I can come up to somebody and they'll be like, no, and be like, what the hell did you say? I don't know if that was words. Or, aren't you just so sweet? You know to run when you hear those words in the South. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. Get her little cowlick back there. But yeah, we also will have our weekly. I'm gonna do 2 because we're hitting a a little bit humorous subject, because it is about, comedy and how we rage over it or been raging over it. And so I do have 2 weird news stories. And I'm again gonna have to state, when we do this stream, it is going to be a very, very sensitive subject, because it's a personal subject for me. It'll be the day before the anniversary of me being attacked, and being a victim. So that's gonna be a subject that is gonna be hard for me to do on streaming enough. But we're gonna still cover it. We're still gonna cover it because it's important, and it's a subject that needs to be talked about more. I feel, and social media likes to not have people talk about it, and that's silencing victims. And we'll do that. We'll talk about it, but that's next week. This week, we're going to talk about comedy. So, I mean, we have different types of comics. You have the base joke comic. These are your Jay Leno, Jerry Seinfeld kind of people. You have your story-driven comics, which is a comic that'll tell a story throughout. I'm trying to remember one off the top of my head, but I'm coming up with a blank of a good example. There are a few. Then you have your insult comics. We'll go over the list there. And there are going to be some on that list that I completely disagree that they don't belong on Insult Comic. They belong on a different label of comic that I'm going to note. You have your prop comic, aka Carrot Top. And I'd include Jeff Dunham in that because technically the puppets are considered a prop, even though he's a ventriloquist. I mean, I have no problem with Jeff. Jeff is funny. Carrot Top, I didn't like Carrot Top when he was in his peak, let alone nowadays. I found he was just a silly man that brought toys out on the stage and tried to be humorous. He wasn't. Then you have the last type. And this is the type that I'm sort of dubbing as the offensive comics. These are comedians who do something to rile you up, to get you angry. And it's not an insult comic, because an insult comic is not aiming directly at somebody. An offensive comic aims it at somebody, and that's all they cover. It's no humor. It's just complete vitriol. And I don't care for it. And I know I'm not alone, because those comedians tend to get the least popularity. However, going back to Saturday Night Live, these days, that's all Saturday Night Live is offensive comic. They're there to offend. And frankly, that's why the show sucks. They're not telling jokes. They're telling you how you need to take a joke. And it's like, no. What you're first saying is not even a joke. It's just being vitriolic to one side or another of a topic. And it literally could be like those that like sandwiches versus those that like hot dogs. Alright, not really calling out hot dog a sandwich. Podcast, I do watch them. More so calling out the actual concept of hot dog as a sandwich. I kind of see that, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to include open-faced sandwiches, then yes, a hot dog is a sandwich. If it's not including open-faced sandwiches, then it is not a sandwich. Simple as that. Or we could go with the distractible with Markiplier definition of it's a cannoli. So, yeah. Flurry months. Hey, how's it going? So, alright, we're getting to our first subject for the evening. Well, first half of the subject. So, no, that's not it. There we are. Yes, Saturday Night Live revealed Shane Gillis as February 24th SNL guest host. Now, the issue here is Shane Gillis was originally going to be a cast member, but because of his views and opinion, Saturday Night Live removed him from the cast before he even aired. And now, he's back as a host because he's actually funny. I don't know if Saturday Night Live will be funny that week, but yeah. Shane, having been scheduled to be a cast member and then removing him. I mean, I don't know any of these, except for Keenan. Keenan's the only one I know. I don't know of any of these other comedians supposedly on SNL. Season 49. Yeah, how about we just end it before we hit 50? You're not worth it. You really aren't. But, yeah, I mean, this is the premise of why I wanted to touch on this subject tonight. Because Shane Gillis is a good comedian. He's funny. He's topical. Yet, because somebody was offended on the cast, probably a lot of somebody's, by what his opinion was, they canceled him. And now he's back to show them up. So, yeah. This is why we need to not be offended by comedy and not use offensive comedy. As I was saying, the differences. And, I mean, this is the reason why I brought this up. The most common addiction is anger and resentment. It really is. The thing we talk about, the thing we rage over. Everybody has something they don't like. But if you obsess and rage over this, it's going to release endorphins and cause you some serious mental issues. More so if something doesn't go your way. And we're going to see a lot of this. I mean, we're in an election year here in the U.S., and my bet is on utter chaos for day after election day, if it happens. Oh. Okay. So, yeah, we need to not be offended at comedy happening. We need to, understand, hey, sometimes I'm not going to like a joke, or I may not like a comedian, but I'm not going to be derivative and be like, this person needs to be canceled. We don't need them on air. Why? This is wrong. No. Now, if they did something criminal, then we can cancel them. I'm looking at you, Alec Baldwin. You need to be in jail. You killed a person, flat out. I don't even need to wait for the jury to make it. Yeah, you killed a person. You shot them point blank with a pistol. You are being offensive to... his anger was reported for years. So I'm not surprised. But yeah, anger, touching on the subject of anger is addiction. And there's a lot of things to be addicted. It doesn't have to be drugs. Maybe one time we'll discuss the drug problem that some cities have, particularly Portland, Oregon, having a huge drug problem. But tonight, the addiction we're talking about is rage. Simply put, people just want to just tear the world apart. And yeah, it's not unheard of. And unfortunately, as much as I'm preaching here about this, it's not going to change anything. People are going to rage. They're going to rage about different things. Again, me being trans, there are going to be people that will get in my face in life and be like, you shouldn't be this way. Like, okay. And my own family has issues with my comics. And I'm like, why are you judging things from the title? Literally, I've asked them before, like, you see the comic Demon Blade, and you immediately assume it's about this demon named Demon Blade. No, it's like, no, that's all. It's like, one, you don't know the historical reference of a Demon Blade. Actual swords that exist in life called Muramasa, said to be cursed blades because they would kill easily. So, yeah. If I can get my own family to figure that out with the title, you're not gonna get everybody to agree with you. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people who aren't going to sit there and actually give the time of day on things. And I mean, it's sad. People kind of need things. Flurry of mints. E. I'm wondering what the EE is. We need to fix that one point of error. Speaking of the point in the comic, I'm showing Ida sleep at this point. She doesn't go to sleep till probably like 3 or 4, and this is like dawn in September to August, whatever college goes. Mormons, I don't know. So I don't. I mean, it's gonna be a point in this issue that Ida has to get her butt up at the crack of dawn. Mainly for the fact that she is technically a guy. Bye. Okay, bye, Glory. And that she doesn't want to be caught. Even though it's fully transitioned, she kind of doesn't want to appear in front of a bunch of other girls in the bathroom. So Abigail has dubbed the morning hours. Because I've been to college. I'm sure a lot of people watching this have probably been to college. And in college, you don't go in the freaking morning. There are very few people that go in the morning. Me, I was one of those people that would go in the morning. And there'd be no one on campus at that point. So, most people wouldn't wake up until about 10 for classes. Me, I'd be there at 7 in the morning because I had to drive in to my college. I wasn't staying at the college because it was way too expensive. So I didn't get my first time away from my parents until after I graduated college. Sorry for crushing the ice, but needed to get some liquid in me. Other things I need to talk about next month. About this time next month. It's gonna be from the 1st till the 12th, maybe the 15th. We are not gonna be streaming those months. For the simple reason, I got surgery that I gotta go through on the 1st. So, I'm not gonna be in any kind of shape. And what's worse, it's surgery on the butt. So, I'm not gonna be able to sit for a few days. let alone sit in front of a microphone and camera and do the streams. So next month we'll have some weeks off from streaming and art. I'm not gonna do any art that week either because it's literally gonna be focusing about healing so I can get back to work and make money. Alright. So we're gonna have this little pillow here. Abigail's hair kind of draping down like that. Also, there will be no Demon Blade until the beginning of March. I will try to have them set up to launch, and even if I have to do it for a little bit on my own, Demon Blade will come back on the 2nd with Chapter 10, starting of Chapter 10. Been drawing a lot on it to get things done, but I've got other things I gotta draw, including a commission I didn't even know I still had to do. So I'm at 4 commissions and not completed any of them. No. Abigail's arm's gonna be down over top. Let's keep her eyes shut. Maybe even do the little snot bubble. Doing little gags here and there. But yeah. Keep talking about this subject. I mean, overall we kind of covered a lot of it in the first half hour. But again, I see too often that comic strips and comedians are being way too safe these days. I mean, I remember 2 or 3 days in a row I would read all the sort of comic strips that they had on the Edge homepage, because I can't go too far being on a government computer. But yeah, reading those comics and being like, where's the joke? Now, there is one comic that I absolutely love, and I don't know if he's syndicated, but I've been following him for a while, and I'm gonna give him some more love. Check out Beware the Toddler. Great comic. Brought out by an African American artist. And yeah, it has an African American characters. Basically a dad, it's 2 kids. I don't think we ever see the mom. We hear the mom, but I don't think we've ever seen the mom. It's always dad versus the toddler, usually. And I enjoy it because I've seen so many kids that are toddlers like that. That it's like, now we need you to eat your food. Like, no, juice. I was like, no, food? But it'd be a complete and total fight. And they do a wonderful job making that joke and telling that joke. That, yeah, praise them. Praise them. They're worthy of reading these days. It's, not a topical comic about issues in the world or things going on. It's just about a dad and his 2 kids. And we get some dad jokes in there, which I guess that would be another type of comedian, but I don't know if anybody professionally tells dad jokes. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've never heard of them. But yeah. That'd be interesting. I'm the professional dad joke comedian. Like, now, we don't need that professional. Every dad seems to have it. So, it just comes with the territory. I don't think there needs to be a professional. Oh, dear God, if there was a professional. We'd be in trouble. The bad. Well, I mean, actually, I take it back. Fat dad. Not the South part. Fat dad. Although that's funny. There's a guy who's filmed himself with his children. He's got the Batman mask on, and he will just say some horrible bad jokes. But they're funny. And then watching their kids be like, no. Such a wonderful reaction for a joke. Now, South Park's Fat Dad was great too, but only like once or twice. I don't think he's appeared more than twice. And I think one of those was in one of the games. You can be a comedian or be a celebrity, have your opinion and state your opinion. That's fine. It's the fact that we don't have to take your opinion and absorb it. I mean, another one to call out that's happening right now. Pink is saying if you support pro-life, you don't need to listen to her music. No, I love Pink. I love her music. I love a lot of things she stands out for. But I'm also very pro-life because I was adopted. And, I went through 6 months of my life where I was not wanted at all. And I very well could have been a statistic in the abortion debate. Now, you can be pro-abortion, I have no problem. But understand, I'm pro-life because you only get one chance. And, I mean, who's to say you won't live a good life? I mean, let's call out another comedian. This time, one that I'm supportive of. His opinions sometimes go against people and rile people up. But Isaac Butterfield, Australian comedian. He's offended a lot of people. Heck, Nigel, who plays Uncle Roger. Nigel Lawson, is it? He's banned in 2 countries for just making a joke. Now, mind you, those countries are China and I think Taiwan. But yeah, the dude is banned from those countries because of a joke. Seriously, it's ridiculous. But I mean, Isaac Butterfield, yes, he tells a lot of offensive stories, and sometimes the comedy he tells, some people don't like. That's understandable. But I mean, yesterday he had a wonderful video talking about, mentally disabled, not being able to have their own private schooling in Australia. They're getting rid of it. And they're saying, oh, well, they should be integrated in regular schools. Like, I know mentally disabled people. They need to be in an environment that can be controlled for them. A lot of them have issues with noises. A lot of them would be way too disrupting for classes. My aunt, who's did this teaching for the disabled people, it's, a beautiful thing that you can have a relationship with them. But integrating them into regular schooling, it's not going to work. I hate to say it, but it just doesn't work. And that's mainly because their mental capability is so low. And it's unfortunately the problem that they will have to deal with the rest of their lives. I mean, it happens. But at the same time, going back to Pink's statement, I don't mind. Let them live. Let them enjoy life. Some of the happiest people I've ever seen are mentally disabled. Particularly stuff like Asperger's or trying to think of another one, Down syndrome. I've seen lots of people like that, and they are some of the kindest and nicest people you'll meet, but they can't live a normal life and go through normal schooling because they're not going to learn. And it's a sad truth that we have to accept. And with Australia making that decision, it's like, you're only going to be hurting these people. You're not helping. Having schools designed to help them is much better than putting them in an environment where they're gonna get bullied. They're gonna get attacked. And all they're gonna do is make these people miserable. But, the greatest destruction is often given in the kindness of others. It really is. And we discovered space travel and progressed rocket sciences by learning how to make an A-bomb. So, yeah, it's sad, but it's the way the world works. And what best works for some people doesn't work for others. Alright, let's try not to be so down about things. We're gonna get to the insult list next. I might as well go now because it's gonna take a little while to go through this, because there are multiple comedians. And yeah, we want to have some humor today. We don't want to go all seriousness. So the funniest insult comedians of all time. Number 1, Don Rickles. I absolutely agree. We're giving it an upvote. Don Rickles, God love it. He was one of the greatest insult comedians of all time. Rodney Dangerfield. He's more self-deprecating humor, but I agree. He's good. I'm not going to give him an upvote because I think Ricky is better. Ricky Gervais is number 3. And yeah, I mean, the man had balls to go up during the Academy Awards and insult Hollywood. So, Bill Burr, agreed. I'm not gonna do everything. Jeff Ross, the roast master, I'm gonna say no, because there's a comedian in 6th that's more deserving. That's Joan Rivers. Absolutely. She has always been one of the more funniest comedians. That's been an insult comedian. It's mainly about her ex-husbands, so to speak. But I love Joan, and she was always a great person. Number 7, Groucho Marx. Yes, he is one of the founders of insult comedian. So, Groucho is well deserving of 7 here. Jimmy Carr, I'm gonna disagree. Same with number 9, Anthony Jeselnik. I'm gonna lower him as well. Greg Giraldo, I will say he's decent. I'm not gonna give him a vote up. But number 11, Gilbert Gottfried. Absolutely. Gilbert, you left us, but you're always funny. Man, gotta love you. Patrice O'Neal, another one. Absolutely, yes. Patrice was great comedian. On top of, next one, Bernie Mac. Absolutely. Then we get the man known for insults, or the dog known for insults. Triumph, the insult comedy dog. Hell yes. And below him, the legendary Sam Kinison. Now, I'm already seeing one insult comedian that should be much higher on this list, and I don't know why. Bianca Del Rio, yes. Bianca is a great humorist. I don't watch her that often because she's not on that much, but she's a great humorist, and she takes the elements of being dragged as a joke, and it's funny. Daniel Chosh, no, I'm gonna lower the next one down as well. Seth MacFarlane, no. Jim Jeffries, yes, he should go up there. Lisa Lampanelli, all right. Yes, she is the queen of mean. I'm disagreeing that she even belongs in this list. Unity Panama Don. Panama Don. Welcome. Thank you. Lisa. I find Lisa more offensive to just in general. Yeah, she's funny at times. But I don't see she's high. I don't think she should be higher than the next one. And this is the man I think should be way higher on this list. Andrew Dice Clay. If you grew up in the 80s, you knew Andrew Dice Clay. The man was the king of insults. He would sit there and make a joke about you on the spot. And that was Andrew. And oh, he's a great comedian. Lenny Bruce, another great comedian. I wouldn't say he's more insult or so. Dave Attell, he's insult. Yeah, I agree. Dave. I mean, Dave does some great stuff when he's not even being insulting, but he's great. Sarah Silverman, yeah, I'll give it to her. She's not been funny as of late, I don't think, but yeah. Colin Quinn, number 25. Yes, Colin is. And Bob Saget, America's Dad from Full House, who was, and America's Funniest Home Videos, yet one of the most foul-mouthed comedians out there. Definitely up there. And insult. I have to say, he's Jim Norton. Absolutely. I love seeing a lot of, even Jim these days. I'm loving seeing what Jim does. Dennis Leary. Dennis has not done much comedy over the years. But I gotta agree, he's an insult comedian. The man literally made a song called Asshole and sung about it. And it's one of my favorite songs from a comedian. Mark Norman, I don't know who you are, so I'm not gonna do it. Same with Nikki Glaser. But I said we're gonna do 30, but I gotta do 31. Tony Clifton, aka Andy Kaufman. The man was a legend for a reason. And Tony Clifton, when he played out Tony Clifton, the man was an ass. And it was funny. And if you didn't know he was doing this joke and that he was Andy Kaufman in real life, except for once it was his manager as Tony Clifton, because he wanted to appear as Andy Kaufman. So Tony Clifton absolutely needs to be up there. Other ones, Ralphie May, yeah. I don't know about Whitney Cummings. Bill Hicks, yes. Tony Heathcliff, don't know. Sam Morrell, I don't know. Todd Barry. See, now we're getting into lesser known ones that I'm just like, I don't know most of these people. I can't say they're insult comedians. Frank Costello, yes, but I don't know why Frank's not higher. And I mean, we're getting down to like Bill Maher. He's offensive, but I don't find him terribly funny. But I think each their own. Just trying to look through some of these other ones. Kathy Griffin, you're offensive. Just general, you're offensive. Casey Handler, that's it. So I mean, that's all we're covering. Yeah. I mean, the ones we voted on, yay or nay. That's kind of how I lie with insult comedians. I'm just surprised Andrew Dice Clay's so low, as well as Tony Clifton. Andy Kaufman, Tony Clifton, comedy genius. If you haven't watched Man on the Moon from Jim Carrey playing that role, that was absolutely a great one. And speaking of Dave Chappelle, Dave said he went to go meet went to go meet the performance that was going on from Jim Carrey at the time, and Jim demanded to be known as Andy and sucked into the role. And it's a great joke from Dave Chappelle. Absolutely humorous. I'm surprised Chappelle's not on here. I really am. Chappelle's an amazing comedian. One of the best comedians we've got. We'll come back to our weird news in the next half hour. But Well, we have two weird news stories tonight to cover. Uh, one that continues what we started last week with Parrot. Parrots being in the news. This one being a more odd choice. But there are people that claim that such a thing is. I mean, I know. Well, we'll get into it. I don't want to get into it exactly because it's something to laugh at, and I will explain who else has done this in the past. So yeah, but I mean, when talking about rage over comedy, should always win. Humor, we need to laugh more in life. Because if we take things way too seriously and rage about everything, we become obsessed over the things we hate. And we don't give ourselves time to love and enjoy life. I know it's hard to say with some people. And I mean, another reason why we kind of want to do this. This is the time of year when ending yourself, the best way to put it, without properly stating the obvious. But happens the most this time of year because it's winter. It's depraved. No real big holidays, with the exception of Valentine's Day, which will be what we talk about next week. But Valentine's Day causes depression in people because they don't have somebody. And I mean, I can vouch from that. I don't have anybody in my life. But I don't obsess over it. Yeah, I haven't met somebody to have a relationship with. But, I mean, that will come eventually, maybe. Hopefully. But I'm not going to obsess over it. And far too many people do. And if you obsess over those things, you're only going to depress yourself. And I think that's why we have so many people depressed these years. The number one thing we hear is, I can't meet a girl, or I can't meet a guy, or I can't find the Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. You're not gonna find them. They don't exist. Perfection is never achievable. It's something to strive for, but you're never gonna truly achieve it. And as an artist and a writer, that's what you gotta go through. You gotta know when to put the pen down. And just move on. That's one of the biggest issues with a lot of comic artists, or would-be comic artists on the internet. A lot of them are like, well, I'm making this comic, and it'll be perfection. I'll make it to be perfection, and I'll just keep doing at it until it's perfect. If I felt that way, I would never have this very comic we're working on. Witchin', we literally started Witchin' on stream 2 years ago. A little under 2 years ago. And we're on chapter 4, working on chapter 5. It launched last year. And it's just me having some fun and humor, because even Blade has some drama and dark places at times. This series, there will be a little drama. Not much. But it's mainly going to be comedy. It's what I wanted out of the series. To tell a humorous story. and a story that I knew wasn't going to be told unless I wrote it and drew it. So, yeah. If I sat around waiting for perfection on it, I would never have released it. I honestly wouldn't. I spent about, released it officially in September. So I spent a year. We introduced the series in September, and then the next September, we released the series. So it took us a year planning it to get it to where it is. But at the same time, I didn't obsess over it. I even came up with a different story to tell in between there, which is Shattered World of the Uninvited, which is a new story that I'm going to be working on. I still got to work on Mobster versus Maid Girl, story-wise. And I still plan to release 11 Kingdom in book form this year. That's 3 different novels. Well, 2 novelettes, 1 novel. Full-on novel. All being released through the year. And I'll work on it. I mean, same with Green Lightning. I get a lot of people now and then that want to do more, need to do more on Green Lightning, which is our RPG system. And I've been working on it. I was literally sitting down before a stream and be like, that's a good idea. Let's do that in the game system. Figure a way to put this together. And yeah, I try to be constantly creating in my head, in my stories, and try to tell different things. It's like comedians. They gotta tell their jokes. And if they don't eat. But they can't sit there and be like, well, this joke didn't land, but I'm gonna keep trying at it and make it land. It's like, no. If it doesn't land, you move on. Tell a new joke. Freudian slip there. You just keep telling stories and find humor. Sometimes you'll get a very impactful story. Sometimes you'll get a great comedian. Another one we didn't see on that list, George Carlin. Why George Carlin and Richard Pryor were not on that list? I don't know why. Both were great comedians, did insult. Although George was more of a general joke person. He wouldn't stand there and insult the audience or insult somebody in the audience like Dice Clay would or Kennison. But I mean, or Don Rickles. But I mean, that's the type of comedy you gotta write for yourself. Or the type of entertainment that you gotta write for yourself. And do it in your own life. Doesn't just have to be comedy, doesn't have to be comic strips. You know, find what you enjoy. That's why we end the show nowadays the way we do. Find something for you to find enjoyment in your own life. Preferably legal stuff, please. None of the, I want to go kill several people. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You're on that instinct, go get help. Mentally help. Because you're gonna need it. But I have to do that statement because, yeah, somebody's like, oh,
Well, what if I want to kill somebody?
Well, you're mentally disturbed, and you need help. There's nothing wrong in seeking help. We've done it ourselves several times. There's her top. I want to make sure I get the right color. Ah. Okay. We're gonna slice this down the angle there. So we can kind of do a color for the bed and a color for the wall. I want to do something else with this one. I want to do... As much as I complained about freaking the Paint Studio, I gotta give them credit. I think it was either today or yesterday. They finally said, well, here, give us a review on, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. I was like, where is the freaking hard airbrush? Why do I not have that on the mobile? I have it freaking regular, but when I go mobile, which is what we do here in the stream, I don't have a hard airbrush. It's annoying, because a hard airbrush is really a great tool. Kind of wanted to just do a focal point there, which is what that burst essentially is. It's a focal point. It draws the eye to something. Okay. We gotta draw this out. Oh, no. Select. Oh. Select. Am I on the wrong layer? I'm on the wrong layer. Okay. That's why I wasn't drawing. Okay. So, this would be Abigail. With her. Oh, that's something I need to do. I messed up there. And we didn't do the highlights either of Abigail. Her hair has highlights. And I didn't do it. You see something else. So you're seeing some pages. These are all chapter 4. I'm nearly done with chapter 4, which is no idea why I'm subscribed to you. I vaguely remember you, but I have no idea how I got here. Was it our Stardew Valley streams? Or was it one of the raids? Well, no, you're on YouTube. No idea. Can't vouch for it. We also do Dining and Doodles, which is our request art show. That's been around for a few years. Which I do hope to do this week. I am still fighting my pain this week. So I might not do all the streams this week, but I do plan to try and do Dining and Doodles, because I made a commitment to do that before Valentine's Day. A certain one before Valentine's Day. We're probably gonna do a double if I can. It's literally gonna be my stomach's in a lot of pain. Wait, you do art requests? Yes. Dining and Noodles art requests. if you go to Embria Arts on DeviantArt, we have our official rules for requests. I could probably bring them up. Fighting with pain, what kind? I have gastroparesis as well as internal hemorrhoids and fissures that make me bleed internally. So yeah, they literally have taken away a lot of food from my diet. I pretty much have a lunch of carrots and celery with some gluten-free Oreos. That's my lunch these days. Because I can't have stuff to go with the carrots and celery, so it's going to be salt. I can't have the peanut butter. I can't have ranch, which I don't care for ranch anyway. I guess maybe if I could get some honey mustard, I could maybe enjoy that with those, but yeah, no, in a lot of pain some days. Some days it's so bad I can't sit. It just hurts too much. But yeah, basically my stomach and intestinal tract do not work the way they're designed to. I think I need to open a page, so I'm gonna switch out. Actually, no, I don't have to switch out. I'm gonna go to the last page. Where is it? Alright, not the last page. This one. This is later. Okay. So, midriff, booty short, pajamas. Okay, I'm starting to remember. I'm 100% sure you've been here before. Still no idea why. That's fine. That's fine. We do a lot of requests. On Saturdays, we do requests. We also have Patreon art we release. I've been a bit behind on that and commissions. And then we do comic series. This is one of them. This is Witchin', our latest series. And Demon Blade, which we've been doing since 2015 for the current run. Technically, we've been drawing Demon Blade since 1997. So, long time. Different iterations of it. I need to fix that hair. That's what I need to do. She needs to have her purple highlight. Which is very much sort of, yes, I kind of took the influence from, what is it, Demon Slayer on the hair highlights of the back. Speaking of which, Crunchyroll is doing what they did last year, and that pissed me off. So, I'm going to speak out against Crunchyroll on this. Don't go see the Demon Slayer thing in theaters. Do not. You're going to get one episode of the new season about 2-3 weeks before it airs, and the last 2 episodes of the last season. It's not a movie. Don't be suckered into buying into it. It's just not worth it. I got suckered into it last year when I was living in my car, and that was the place to be. Like, hey, I don't want to live in my car for all hours, especially when I'm off work. So let's go see a movie. What's playing in the theaters? Why, it's Demon Slayer. It's a movie. No, it wasn't. It was a ripoff. And I got pissed at the ripoff that Crunchyroll put out. And they're doing it again. Don't give them the money for that. Wait until they actually have a movie to do. So Demon Slayer, not a movie. It's just more of the show. And all I mean by more, it's episode 1 of the new arc. That's it. So you'll be there for an hour and a half, with an hour of it being what's already aired. So, yeah. Not worth it. Not worth it. Now, I don't know what their actual movie releases are for this coming year. I haven't kept up to date on Crunchyroll's releases for movies this year. But I mean, there are some good shows coming out on them. This week, however, we're going to be talking about a classic and a remake. That is not on Crunchyroll, for a change. But we're going to be talking about Urusei Yatsura, and play into that for our romantic anime reviews. So, I mean, yeah, there are a couple other anime I need to watch. I'm kind of surprised. Our Hokkaido Girls one was not blocked. The week before, the Mr. Villain one did get blocked. Because sometimes the studios just want to block out stuff and be like, no, you can't review this. Why would you want to review this? That's offensive. But no. I'm giving you free air and promoting your work. And we're showing brief clips so the audience can make up their mind. Do they want to watch it or not? And on that one, we did a good rating. We were harsher with Hokkaido Girls last week. And they're fine with it. I was harsher with Hokkaido Girls because while I was doing some new stuff with the trope, it was a lot of stiff moments in animation where it looked cheap. That's it. It just looked cheap at points. I guess there's one thing I can talk about. We can talk about the criminals that have been releasing spoilers of One Piece. It is One Piece. Some of the channels out there didn't catch that it was One Piece spoilers, but I'm not surprised. There's so many people that go out to spoil One Piece. And these were people who worked at the store that got the comic early, who got shown a Jump early, the physical copy. And they would release the images of the comic before anyone else could read it. So, yeah, I'm not gonna play, oh, these are poor people that just trying to get out the skin. Like, no. Support the artist. I'm an artist. I absolutely, even though Oda is way loaded down in money, support the artist. Support the artist. I mean, there's many other people in Shonen Jump that get paid out of those issues. Not just the artist, but I mean, the support that go into a manga, the staff, the promotional staff, the printers, all those people get paid from buying the material. Now, if you don't want to buy Jump, you can get the app, or hell, you can even read the latest issues when they come out for free. Of Shonen Jump. There's nothing holding you back outside of maybe your district or area of the world doesn't get it. That's the only thing. And it's One Piece. It's all over the world. There's a reason One Piece is so high, and it's because it's beloved worldwide. Some other series probably don't get there. I'm pretty sure Jujutsu Kaisen, while it's a great show and great manga, it's probably not being run in Japan or in China, because China hates to put mystical stuff in their series. They find it offensive, so you're not allowed to have some of that stuff. So I don't know if China is reading them or allowing that. And China would be a place that would be far more restrictive on what you can release. Versus other countries. So, not too surprised. Alright, 9:30. Let's hit our last two subjects. No, this is pigeons. I thought it was parrots. I was wrong, it's pigeons. Indian police clear a suspect Chinese spy pigeon after 8 months in bird lockup. Yeah, those spy pigeons. It's not unheard of that the military use pigeons. The U.S. military uses pigeons, dolphins, and seals, as well as dogs, help them in certain situations. Even cats. They have cats, or they at least had. I don't know if they still do. But they used to have cats assigned to ship in the Navy to be official rat catchers. But, yeah, spy pigeon. Given if this is a pigeon, that eye does look a little weird, but I don't know how. The pigeon doesn't speak. They're gonna spy. I don't know. It's weird. But it's gone on for 8 months. The damn pigeons and their spy network. Oh no. On to our second story. Toddler gets stuck after climbing into a claw machine looking for a toy in an Australian shopping mall. Now, this has been a regular joke and a lot of things that kids can get into the machine. This kid actually did it. I know it wasn't the first time I've seen this happen, but a 3-year-old boy went after a toy in this claw machine and got stuck. It may sound like a huge disaster, and they've got police and fire here to open it, which I don't know why you can't just go to whoever owns the machine to open the freaking cabinet. Seriously? All you gotta do. Now, what offends me more than anything, this is a Hello Kitty back here. Definitely Hello Kitty. These are not Hello Kitty plushes. Maybe this one back here, behind the kid. Maybe that is a Hello Kitty. But most of these, I watch Hello Kitty stuff. I like Hello Kitty stuff. I have it in my collection. I don't recognize any of these. Uh, uh, it's just a weird plushie. No Hello Kitty. No kitty. My favorite characters are Kitty, Cinnamon Roll, and Kurogami. I gotta give love to Kurogami. She's awesome. But yeah, there's your weird news stories of the week. Not that big of a news story. I mean, literally, I was told through one of the podcasts I listened to that yesterday was National Fart Day. Who came to the decision that February 5th is National Fart Day? I don't know. And I don't know why we need a National Fart Day. But okay. So yeah, February 5th is National Fart Day. The other story I heard really wasn't weird news. It was sleeping in on the weekend helps you, which I understand if you have a part-time job or a job that doesn't work the 9 to 5. You can't really sleep in on weekends. I don't even sleep in on weekends. I tend to go to the grocery store before it gets packed on the weekend, or go to the farmer's market. But yeah, I can't argue. After the news of my great aunt hit Friday night, I knew I was canceling the stream for Saturday, because I was like, no, I'm not gonna air when I got family grieving. It's not appropriate. And so, I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna lay down. I'm gonna be tired. It's about, 1 in the afternoon. I got up at 9. So, 1 in the afternoon, I'm a little tired. I laid down. I slept until 7 p.m. This is after sleeping 8 hours the night before. I have never slept that much in years. Almost when I was out of college, fresh out of college. Then I'd sleep that much. But I'd also spend most of my freaking waking hours playing video games. Or doing art on paper. Because I couldn't afford a tablet at the time. And this was before the Apple iPad, which is what we're using today. Oh, and any upgrades that we were planning to do are on hold. We were hoping that we got more out of our taxes, and they didn't. So we're gonna have to use commission money coming out for it, and other money coming out for it to do upgrades. So it's gonna be a little while longer. We're just gonna keep doing Stardew Valley with mods, or maybe 1 or 2 other games if I can get ones that aren't taxing on this computer while we also use the model. So I'm gonna make a slight adjustment here. I will say, I use Ida or myself as Ida's reference here for sleeping arrangements or sleeping outfit. I usually just go to bed with pajama top and no bottom, which is what I have her doing. I might change her sleeping outfit through time. The next chapter is literally going to be Abigail taking her out to experience her first day as a girly girl. Because she's gonna torture her. That's the way Abigail is. We, of course, a lot of people, up until the latest page released this week, past week. Oh, I gotta deselect here, deselect for a second. Oh, crap. I'm doing that on the wrong layer. Is that for all of it? I hope not. Yes, it is. Ah, crap. Alright. Nope. I'm saying delete. Alright, I'm doing it on the wrong layer. Okay. Yeah. We officially brought out the, what really was stunning Abigail. Because Abigail, the announcement, from Ida that she's really a guy, or is known as Theodore Webwood, that she wasn't shocked about that news. She was more shocked by having to try and figure out how to abuse this knowledge. Because Ida is just an element of chaos and loves being that element of chaos. And she's very accepting of Ida actually being a male wizard disguised as a female. Will transform to be properly. But I mean, that's one of the main elements of this chapter. The part that hasn't aired, we're drawing part of it, which is them waking up the next day. But also the sort of introduction to the Wansdales, which is the family that Ida claims to be from. And we've already established Valoran in chapter 1, who's going to play a larger role later. But in the early chapters, we're going to have the quote-unquote antagonist of the series do his appearance. And the premise of what will happen throughout the comic over the entire run. The basic plot coming to element. I don't know if I'll do it fully in chapter 5. There probably will be longer, because most of these have been 16. Because we're removing the chapter release as one a month that we were planning to do to one a basically story told in one chapter. And our antagonist needs to be properly introduced, as well as the gag, one of the gags that I have for them. And it's important, I mean, going back to the subject of the night about humor. When you write a comedy comic or series or novel that has comedy in it, it's important to write who's in the show. Good morning, people of the world. Well, Leo CRS it is 8 p.m. where I live, so it is not morning. But good morning to you. I guess you're somewhere in the Europe, where it's morning, or maybe even Asian countries, or Australia. Alright, I need to deselect because, again, the selection's off. To here, so we can finish the character. We actually don't have much longer on stream. Are you making some sort of comic? Yes. This comic is called Witchin'. It is available on Webtoons, Tapo, DeviantArt. We don't have a site for it yet. I kind of need to wait until I have a few chapters set up to do a site for it. Plus, if I'm going to do it, I kind of want to do it with a proper .com. And I'll wait until my web hosting site and I need to talk, which won't be until about summer, I think. But why are you using a voice changer? Because I don't like how my voice sounds. That's why. I'm trans. I don't like, my voice is not that deep, but I don't like how it sounds. It's very nasally. And, yeah, I don't change the pitch that much. But it is changed. A little higher. Probably about a 40 on pitch tone. I know a lot of people will be like, what? What's that? Sound talk. I'm not a huge person into sound, but yeah. Kinda hard to understand. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm kinda hard to understand sometimes, because I know speak good at times. When we started, we didn't do the voice changer. We did a different voice changer for about a year. And almost a full year, actually. And then we switched over when we came back online this past year to one that doesn't crash the system. And that's pretty much what we stuck with. Same with how we do operate the VTuber. So, yeah. I imagine the voice turns off some people. I've had a lot of people, though, say otherwise, though. But that was back when we used the old voice changer. I don't know. I haven't had too many people ask me about the current voice. The old one, I couldn't really do anything with the pitch. It was just either on or off. And in this one, I can at least deal with the pitch. I think what might be the problem for a lot of people is echo. My apartment is very echoey, and I try to eliminate it as much as I can, but it's gonna be a lot of echo. Even if I did soundproofing, it'd still be a lot of echo. Down to the last 10 minutes for tonight's stream. We will, of course, be off tomorrow night because we don't do a stream on Wednesdays with a session of the podcast, which is only the end of the month. And we will be back Thursday again to do our review / retrospective of Earthside Yusura, both the old and the new. We're going to be talking about both, because I was a huge fan and a collector of the old series. Not much of an artist. How does the process exactly go with its digital art? Well, I mean, I'm drawing this digitally, but I also draw, by hand. I was classically trained, including doing animation cells by hand. But the funny thing is I was learning that in the 90s as 2000 was changing that game, when everybody went digital. So, yeah, classically trained to do animation cells. Not a huge fan of doing animation cells. It's not an easy task. But it's how it was done. At least through the 90s. Oh, great. And I did. Alright, we'll just do... digitally does take some work to get used to. I much prefer what I've got set up right now over what we were doing a year ago to 2 years ago, where we were using a artist tablet where we had to look at the screen what we were doing. Now we don't. We're using a typical Apple iPad, what is it? The current Apple iPad, whatever it is, I forget the numbering that Apple has for it. We just use that and Clip Paint Studio. Clip Paint pretty much being the go-to for it. The eyes are up close, base panel, not aligned. I'm not judging though. Which one? This panel? Down here? Or the bigger face? I mean, this is my quicker draw comic. I could show you how far I go with art when I spend more time into something. We literally do this for about 2 hours. Can't show that on there. Cannot show the Rama on there. Where is it? Where is it? I know 11 Kingdoms is here. Well, I mean, we'll do this one. So, this was the announcement. Demon Blade and Witchin coming up. I'm just waiting for it to load. We do a lot of these in one in top middle. Well, it's meant to be creepy. So I don't mind it being off alignment. If it really bothers me, I'll do it. But it's that one in the middle is meant to be creepy. Because it's the scary face waking you up, creepy look. Why isn't this open? It's supposedly opening, but it's not. Okay. File opening. Let's see here. That's photos. Can I have, okay. We will. I'm trying to be careful because I know there's one. Okay. Oh, that's the old 11 sketch. Okay, can't go lower. Can't go lower. Due to stream regulations. And this was promo. I know what I can do. Yes, I was looking at things like strange houses or references. Go to my DeviantArt page. Simple as that. Here we have a lot of art that people request or do art for things. Let me see if I can go through. I mean, a lot of these are quick drawings. I'm just trying to be very careful because there are adult materials requested. And here we go. We'll use Demon Blade. So I spend more time on Demon Blade than I do. Perhaps it's lacking in shading. Yeah, I probably will do more shading in that panel. Don't say. Okay. You're talking about this one right here. Oh, I mean, there's shading there. Or are you talking about that one? I mean, I probably will add a bit of texture to it. Yes. Okay, the middle one. Alright, yeah. I'll probably add a bit of texture to it as I go. I try not to do too much with Witchin because Witchin's supposed to be a quick comic in and out. Demon Blade, I spend more focus on. So, I mean, I don't want to open one page because it gives away a joke. So, I mean, we have Demon Blade here. I need to continue to work on it. But yeah, we spent a lot more time. The nose looks like a bent sausage. Yeah, I'll take that criticism. It could be a bent sausage. Although, let me try and draw a bent sausage. Bent sausage, more along the lines of, well, it's time to turn off. More along the lines of this. With a little nib at the top. Live at the bottom. A little bit. Yeah. What it is that light shade. It is bothering me a little bit. I might change it if I can focus a little bit more on the comic, which I do have time to do, just not tonight, because we have reached the end. We have reached chapter 10 o'clock here in the US. It is time for this 2-hour stream to end. I do want to thank Leo CSR for joining in. Alex Marin, or Alex Andrew Marin, Unity, Portamon Dunn, and Gloria Muniz. All of you joining in, chat, thank you. Farewell, may wealth and fortune find you. Thank you. And as we started to state earlier today, we always like to end as basically saying, may you go out there and be the best you that you can be today. Even if that means being a total asshole. Hey, the world needs assholes. Until then, have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.